Welcome to another review at ClassicGameReview.com. We're going to start this one off with a question. What do you get when a meteor strikes a planet, awakening 7 fearsome creatures who are worshipped by the human race as gods? Well, you get Atari's 1994 arcade fighting classic, Primal Rage, released in 1995 for the Sega Saturn. And in this chaotic world of Earth, spelled with a U and not an E, these 7 creatures are fighting to the death to decide the fate of our post-apocalyptic-like planet. They are Sauron, the god of hunger, a Tyrannosaurus who delivers heavy damage but is the slowest fighter in the game. Talon, the god of survival, a raptor, is the fastest fighter but has the shortest reach and no projectile attack. Vertigo, the goddess of insanity, who is a mix of a Dromaeosaurus and a Diplodocus, has the longest reach because of her long neck. Blizzard, the god of good and virtue, is an ice ape who can freeze his opponents and has a very powerful punch. Chaos, the god of decay, another ape but this time of fire, is faster but deals less damage than Blizzard. Ahriman, the god of life, a Stegosaurus, is a powerful brute but is the slowest fighter in the game. Diablo, the god of evil and destruction, another Tyrannosaurus, is one of the fastest fighters and most balanced in the game and is deadly at any range. My favorite character to fight with is Blizzard because his combos are intuitive. Each fighter has an intro video with a bit of background which I'd like to show you, but unfortunately my disc always skips at this point, so I can't. I'll never forget when Primal Rage started to pop up in arcades in my hometown. Fighting games were huge at that point, and each new one seemed to push the envelope a bit further. Street Fighter introduced us to combos, Mortal Kombat brought blood and fatalities, and Virtual Fighter, which also landed on Sega Saturn, showed how awkward first-generation 3D fighters could be. But then something new popped up, and it was like nothing we'd ever seen before. Video-like stop-motion graphics, gross acid piss attacks, and dinosaurs. That's right, huge dinosaurs fighting each other to the death. This has got to be the first, and as far as I know, only animal vs. animal fighting game ever. The arcade game quickly found itself ported to about every system that was available at the time. They even released a Jaguar CD version, which was awful. Those many console ports landed Primal Rage in hot water in 1995 when an 11-year-old's mom watched her son perform Chaos's Golden Shower Fatality, where he pisses on his dead opponent's body, which burns, leaving only bones because his piss is made of acid. Her outrage found its way in the nightly news and helped launch a grassroots campaign that led to the game being re-released with a no-gore option as default. Even the Super NES version, which was already highly censored, was pulled from store shelves, so it re-released. Enough of the history lesson, how does it stack up? The game has aged well, with time, as most 2D fighters do. This is mostly due to its graphics. They remind me of holiday clay animation movies, and were so different than what gamers were used to seeing in fighting games. Up until this point, clean cartoon fighters were the norm, and its graphics, which set it so far apart, are likely what Primal Rage has to thank for its popularity in subsequent console releases. The game's controls are good, but become awkward when performing special attacks. It's not the normal back, down, forward, high kick. Instead, you do something like hold, high kick, low punch, move left, left, down, forward. Holding attack buttons and then pressing the direction pad a couple of ways is something that I'm just so not used to, and I've not seen it replicated in another game, which is a good thing. Although the special attacks are awkward, the combo system is rewarding, and overall the controls do not hold the game back much. But the biggest drawback for me is what got me to play the game in the first place: the dinosaurs. I mean, at first I thought it was amazing. I remember thinking I didn't even know you could control animals in video games besides maybe Yoshi, and he can't piss acid or smash blood out of Koopas. Then after a while with the game, it gets old, and I can't help but think this would be a lot better with people. Give me Ryu or Sub-Zero any day over awkward, extinct dinosaurs who move like brick walls and come from the planet Earth, spelled with a U. Maybe that's why it works so well in arcades though. You plop your quarter in to play your round, and before it gets old, you're moving on to the next machine. I still enjoy the Sega Saturn version, and think it's the best port of the original arcade classic. It is one of the better fighting games on the console and deserves a place in any collector's library. Until next time, Thanks for watching ClassicGameReview.com's look at Primal Rage for Sega Saturn. Please consider subscribing if you enjoyed our video and want to see more classic game reviews.